Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Voice, Thoughts, Talk Show and Podcast. I'm your host, and my name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner. And before we get into this segment, I want to take the time out to highlight our sponsors for Episode 1. Inland Waterways Museum, located at 117 South Water Street, Paducah, Kentucky. And of course, we want to highlight an upcoming event that they are promoting. It is called the Speed Wedding. And it will be on Valentine's Day, February 14th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So check out the website. It's inlandwaterways.org. So today we have a very special guest, and our topic for today is preserving historic monuments. Help me to welcome our special guest on the show, Caroline Veatch. Welcome to the show.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so glad to have you as the first guest for Season 2. That's a big deal.
Oh my gosh, I know. I can't believe it. I feel so honored. I was so excited. Like, this is a dream.
Did you sleep last night? I'm just kidding.
Well, I did. I kind of took a moment and I was like, okay, you're going to be on camera. You need some beauty sleep, okay? So yeah, I
That's
had to force
awesome.
myself.
We're matching different shades of pink, and that was definitely unplanned.
Unplanned, yeah.
Glad to have you. So we want to just have a conversation just about, the museum itself. Tell us about just, on a nationwide perspective, where you guys are connected with various museums and stuff like that. Just take the floor.
Well, I think overall it's just very important to understand, I've only been working here for a year and a half.
Okay.
And one of the first things I've picked up on is everyone has a different story, and everyone can relate to this in one way or another.
Right.
And you'd be shocked to see the connections that some people can make. But even just in this one building, I've been able to see people's eyes light up and these, the ideas form. And so I know if that's happening here, I can't imagine what's happening all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to make sure to provide those experiences.
Absolutely.
And we have to be here to make sure that people have those opportunities. And not only is it important for us to be here, but it's important for people to support that as well.
Absolutely, 100%. That's good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So, as we talk about preserving historic monuments, Inland Waterways Museum here in Paducah has been around for some time. Tell us about the history.
Yes, so we just celebrated 20 years as a museum.
Wow.
Yes, last August in 2023. So 20 years as a museum, we've had a long run, and we've seen a lot of different things come along the way. Polly and I came on at the same time, a year and a half ago, and we just kind of started looking around, and we realized that there's so much potential here. There's so many great things already happening, and it's all happened over the last 20 years. And so now we're looking towards the future, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point of us being here, first of all, we have an incredible view right outside our window of the river.
Yeah.
Paducah is the hub of Inland Waterways, as we like to say, so we are the perfect location for this type of museum.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I think it is very important for us to preserve historic monuments. They tell a story. They've gone through a lot of different experiences and situations and still stand there. They belong there.
Yes.
And I feel like not just here in Paducah, but just all over, we see where historic monuments are kind of like fading out because, we want to develop the area, we want to have these big apartment complexes and stuff like that. And so I'm happy that you guys, are celebrating 20 years and like preserving what is here, like, a very historic monument here in Paducah. And it's a landmark, whether you believe it or not. It's like, the Inland Waterways Museum, it's right on the riverfront. It's been there for, so many years. So I think you guys are doing an amazing job at preserving that history here in Paducah, Kentucky. So,
I liked that you touched on kind of, in a lot of other places you see these things kind of fading out. Paducah is the opposite of that, in my opinion. But the reason for that is technology, unfortunately. I think that we live in such a fast world people forget to slow down, and they forget about places like us where there's not a lot of technology here, but you have to be creative, you know. So I do agree. You're gonna see a lot of other places in the world. This stuff is kind of dying off, but Paducah, I don't think it is.
That's
especially
good.
in the downtown.
So you think
area.
it's being preserved?
I think so.
That's awesome.
I think we can always do better. We definitely need to do better, but we're fine right now.
So for someone that has never been inside this museum, you know, in a nutshell, you know, I want you to create that imagery for our listeners and our viewers on what does it entail here at the Inland Waterways Museum.
So I kind of touched on this earlier when I said, you know, everyone can relate to this. Everyone is going to connect in some way. But just kind of the ambiance, you know, when you first walk in, you come off of the brick street, you come off of the flood wall that are just covered in these beautiful murals, and you're walking into this beautiful, large, grand front door, and you're now standing in the oldest building in Paducah. Already you've had a fantastic experience. So that in and of itself, you know, that creates that for you. But then as you walk through, you're going to hear about the history. You're going to read about what even this building went through during the Civil War, during the flood. You're going to read about how people were affected by the water, how animals are affected, and how to this day we rely so heavily on the river. And a lot of people don't even realize that until they come here. And then they're moved almost in some way to realize that this is such a powerful, powerful resource. And it connects us all. And so I think that's what I would expect people to learn when they come in here, and to expect that, to gain that experience.
Soak up that history.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yes. I mean, I mean, you know, the first time I walked in here, I was like, wow, I love, when you talk about museums, you know, I love museums, I love historic monuments. So just, you know, seeing that, it depicts all of that.
Exactly.
It's amazing. I've traveled all over the world and seen different, you know, museums and historic monuments, and to walk in and still get that feeling means that you guys are doing a fantastic job. So thank you for preserving that history here in local Paducah, Kentucky.
We're happy to do it. So we're happy to do it.
Yeah, so tell me about people being able to utilize this space for special events. I don't think a lot of people know that that is an opportunity. So talk about that a little bit.
So we're in the oldest building in Paducah. I don't think I've actually said that yet, but we are. We're located in the oldest building in Paducah. We have a fantastic view of the confluence of the Ohio and Tennessee rivers. You can also see the beautiful flood wall that I mentioned earlier. And this space is just, we have restored it to be its original beauty, with that Greek revival style, and all this Victorian period furniture. It really just creates a very cozy and very classy vibe. And it's the perfect space for dinners, parties, wedding rehearsals, weddings themselves. We're having them on February 14th. It's a great place to bring your community together. It really is. I think we're the starting point at this point of Paducah. We're the oldest thing here. So if we can gather our community together here, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, I'm happy that we are taking the time to talk about that, because, you know, people hear about a museum. Typically it's just a place you go to see what historic things they have there. But that, you know, you guys are creating a much bigger experience here, you know, to where now you can
have fun in a museum. You can have
so
fun.
I didn't know that until, you know, recently. So it's good to know that and to share that on these platforms, and, you know, so people know, like, hey, if I have a certain event, a special event, and we're going to talk about the upcoming event on February 14th. So I would love for the listeners and the viewers to understand, like, the history behind that, and then you could tell about this upcoming February 14th and what that entails.
So years ago, they did the speed weddings, and I'm not sure why that dropped off. I'm not sure what happened. Probably COVID would be my assumption. But Polly and I came on, and we were just a little bit unsure about it. And then we met you, and it just kind of made sense. Especially, so every wedding will have two premarital counseling services with it. I think that is fantastic. You don't get that a lot. That's not an offer in these types of situations. So that was fantastic for us. It just kind of makes sense. We're doing it really quickly, doing it kind of by the fly of the seat of our pants. Yeah, we're doing it speedy for sure. Yeah, but it's going to be fun, I think. So yeah, we're very excited. We definitely fit the part today.
Yeah,
so
there you go. You know, February 1st is right around the corner.
Yes.
And so we want to start promoting that and people know about it. And I feel like it is not just an event, but it's so romantic. Like, I got married on Valentine's Day. It was in this beautiful museum, and you know, you guys are going to have everything already set for them.
Yes.
And you know, marriages and weddings can be so stressful.
Oh yeah.
You know, so just the planning of, okay, where we're going to have it, finding all the different vendors, the photographer, you know, wedding officiant, like you guys are taking care of all of that, and it's a stress-free, you know, experience for them, you know,
at a
so.
pretty decent price,
Yes,
if you ask me.
yes.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to go check more about it out. There's something very lovely and very romantic about that spontaneous, like you were talking to me earlier, when you said grab your honey and just go, you know, run away and get married.
And you know, they always say, when you know, you know.
Exactly.
So, you know, my husband and I, he proposed to me 2 months after we met, and people are like, "Bobby, that's crazy." But you know, here we are. We're, you know, having a very happy life. When you know, you know. So if I were to see an opportunity like that right now, you know, the end of January, I'm like, oh, in 2 weeks, come on, let's go get that
Let's do
license.
it.
Let's just do it. You know, we don't want to be together. Let's go.
Right.
But I love the fact that you guys are also not just, oh, let's just do a speed wedding and it's a fundraising activity or whatever, or a great experience for them. But you guys are setting them up for success. You guys are providing in that package. You know, it is a required, aspect of that package. In order for us to do that with you on the 14th, you know, you have to engage in or participate in these two premarital counseling, which is going to only help you and you know, help your marriage. So.
Absolutely, I think it's a great thing because that was part of our concern. You know, these speed weddings, how spontaneous can people really get? You know, but I think that that's a great way to ensure that there is some level, there is a great level of just true love. Honestly.
Yes.
So.
And I'm sure they could learn a lot from even 2 sessions of premarital counseling.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
learning your love languages, you know.
Absolutely.
People don't even know what their love language is, or they're actually loving someone in their love language. And you know, learning about those personalities and just like how you guys become one. It's very, very important before time to die, you know. So I think that's very good. I commend you guys for doing that. And let's see, what else would you like to, you know, let the audience know about?
Gosh,
you know,
we have so many events coming up. So the speed weddings are coming up. We also are having our 2nd annual Water Street Wrangle on March 23rd. It's an all-day event. We'll go from 10 to 3. And it's right on the street, right on South Water Street. We shut it down. We serve fish. We're adding chicken this year, so you can smell it all on the street. We invite Maritime Throwdown, Kenny Brown. He is a maritime line throwing competition, and he'll bring his trailer. He'll set up right in the middle of the street, and you'll have fish. You can watch the competition. You can hang out in the museum. It's going to be a great day. We also, everyone look forward to the solar eclipse. It's on April 8th, so we'll have some events coming up for that too. But you know, they can always check us out on our website and Facebook. So
absolutely. And so I want to take this time out one more time to highlight the sponsors for this season and for this particular episode, Inland Waterways Museum. And I want you to tell them where they can plug in, where they can find the information for the upcoming events, your website, your social media platforms, so that they know where to, go after this episode.
Yeah. So our website is just inlandwaterways.org. And if you go to our Facebook, it'll take you there. Our Facebook and Instagram are both just at IWM Paducah. And that's where we post about all of our events, anything you guys want to know. We post just some fun facts about the river sometimes. And we highlight, the kiddos playing around. So we like to have fun on there. But you guys can totally check that out for more information.
Wow. It has been a great pleasure having you
Yes,
on Voice Thoughts, and for again season 2, it's a brand new season, it's a brand new year, and episode 1, so that's a big deal.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you, Caroline, for
Thank
this.
you.
Yes, and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to hearing more about the museum and sharing more about that. Just check them out again.
Yes.
Check out their website, their Facebook pages, follow them, like them, and if you've ever visited after this episode and beyond, definitely leave them a 5-star review on Google. I'm big on that. I'm a local guy.
Yes.
Take some pictures and post it so others can,
Absolutely.
know that this gem exists here in local Paducah, Kentucky. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 1 on season 2 of Voice, Thoughts, Talk Show and Podcast. Again, my name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner. I'll see you on the next episode. God bless you.